I feel like I've said before that second episodes of television shows are generally a lot weaker than their premiere. Now, granted, we are on the third episode of Supergirl, but the second episode of Supergirl was so strong. But it was also continuing the Superman storyline that was introduced in the premiere episode. So, this episode, the third one, had a lot to live up to because the first two episodes of the show I thought were fantastic. I love this show so much, and I don't think it was bad, but I think when you compare it to the first two episodes, it's a little weaker. But this episode served a very particular purpose. It's introducing all new storylines. The Mon-El storyline, the presidential storyline because she's clearly an invader or a metahuman, most likely an alien, and the Miss Martian storyline, and the introduction of Lena Luthor and not Cat, I almost said her Cat Grant's friendship, Kara Danvers' friendship. And that's what the episode is really trying to show us. Now, Mon-El, he learned that his home world has been destroyed thanks to Krypton, and we didn't get to see his reaction. He's most likely in mourning, but next episode is where we're hopefully going to be seeing that, and I'm looking forward to that because will he blame Kara? Because he very much could, because Kara's a Kryptonian. The Kryptonians, and I'm blanking on the name of his homeworld, they don't get along. So there could be a little bit of animosity between the two of them, though I really, really hope that doesn't happen and that Mon-El and Kara end up teaming up and they get to fight a lot of villains together. Now, this episode was very much Villain of the Week, and it was to a point that she was so flandescent that I didn't even remember her name. At one point, I thought she was Volcana from the Superman animated series, and actually, I believe Volcana is a metahuman. She's not an alien, so I actually would like to see if Supergirl will be able to incorporate Volcana, but I don't even know if Volcana even ever made it into the comics, but again, Volcana would be a very cool character to see on the show. So, the main villain, her storyline was so weak because it's showing us what's going on with Alex, with Kara, and with J'onn J'onzz, and that's really where I thought the episode shined. I think Jimmy Olsen had a lot of moments in this episode as well, dealing with Snapper Carr, but as a person who is not a fan of Jimmy Olsen, I wasn't really interested in that. I liked how he stood up to Snapper Carr. I liked that Snapper kind of got his just desserts in essence. In the beginning of the episode when Kara had that interview with Lena Luthor, and I actually really loved that interview because Lena's saying, we need to ID the aliens, and I understand why, because you kind of want to know if there's someone with powers living next door to you just for your own safety. And Kara, just because she's Supergirl and that's her secret identity, she doesn't want that revealed, but she's very much on board of having, everyone, just liking everyone. Very happy-go-lucky personality, very much Supergirl. And then, she breaks Lena's the alien detector, and I thought that was a really cool scene. Actually, the visuals in this episode, again, so fantastic. The scene when Kara saved the president, awesome. Also, I think a lot of you know that Linda Carter, who played Wonder Woman, is acting here as our president in Supergirl's world, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. And I'm really curious to see where we're going to get with her storyline as to what she is. I really couldn't tell. I thought, maybe they're going to do a White Martian, but they already have Miss Martian on the show, so why would they do that? Maybe she's something else. I just pray she's not another Kryptonian because I'm kind of over the Kryptonians. We have enough. Krypton was kind of supposed to be it was destroyed, and Kara was supposed to be the last daughter, and then Superman was supposed to be the last son, and then we had Astra, and then we had Nod, and then we had a bunch of other Kryptonians, so you can't have more. It loses. Kara and Superman essentially lose their titles if you throw in more Kryptonians. So who do you guys think she is? I think that was probably the most interesting thing to come out of the episode, along with J'onn J'onzz encountering Miss Martian. And I'll talk, by the way, he encountered her at that bar that Alex told him about thanks to her interactions with a detective in National City. And at the end of the episode, and we discussed that scene pretty in-depthly in the sneak peek review, but at the end of the episode, Miss Martian reveals herself. Now, in the sneak peek review, I said, I'm wondering whether she would show herself as a White Martian to him or she's going to lie. So now, I don't know how Supergirl's going to twist it. If she will just be a Green Martian or if she will be a White Martian like she is in the comics and in Young Justice. So I'm curious to see where they will go there because now she's clearly lying to him, but she's most likely lying because she knows how afraid that J'onn J'onzz would be of the White Martian. So that makes sense in terms of the character. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing her interact with Kara because Miss Martian, obviously in the episode, she was very hidden, and now that was like the big reveal. So her interactions with Kara are going to be awesome. I feel like Mon-El and Kara are going to, Mon-El, Kara, and Miss Martian are going to be like their own little mini Justice League if the show goes in the direction of having them all be in the same episodes together. That'd be kind of cool because then you would have, the Martian Manhunter, you would have Superman, and then you would kind of you would have the Martian Manhunter, you would have Superman, and you would have Mon-El, or who would also be a Superman character, but I guess you would go like Wonder Woman, Superman, and Martian Manhunter. So that I'm sort of renting there, but I think that'd be really cool. I feel like we have like a little mini Justice League if the characters all decide to stay together. So that's really what's been going on here. Also, I said I would talk about Alex. Alex has a possible relationship with this new detective, and I'm not really clear as to what the intentions are. I don't know if Alex is an LGBT character. I didn't catch that, so I'm really wondering if they're going to go in that route. I don't care what they do. In all honesty, it's up to it. I would support it either way. It's an interesting storyline to give her more development. I like the character of Alex. I think she's interesting, though I do stand by my original point that she could be supporting as opposed to main, because I want to see more Kara now. I really want to see more Miss Martian, and I just hope that Alex's screen time doesn't take away from, not so much Kara's, but from Miss Martian's and or Mon-El's. So that's kind of what went down in this episode here. I feel like I covered everything. Oh, actually, there was one more thing. Kara and Snapper Carr had some interesting moments. He told her that she wrote a fluff piece, very opinionated. She's not writing a hard-hitting article. And I thought, well, I guess she's supposed to be neutral, but at the same time, she's able to be persuasive. That's one of the whole purposes of the news. It's to, kind of persuade you to. It's to show you, but there's no way that you can just be completely objective. There's subjectivity in there. But because it was something that Kara was so sensitive about, she couldn't, get away from that. But I really did enjoy when she did her, not so much retraction, but when she rewrote it, and then her and Lena had a nice bonding moment. I'm really curious to see what's going to be going on with her and Lena Luthor. A couple of us thought, without Cat Grant there, who's going to be her new mentor? And I could see it possibly also being Lena Luthor, especially since our president, I thought the president at first could be a new mentor to Kara, but because the president is evil, she seems to be more of a manipulator than anything else. So the episode really just set up 3 brand new storylines that I'm really looking forward to. Cadmus wasn't even mentioned, which is kind of a bummer. Like, Cadmus is a big deal, and then we don't even get an idea of what's going on with them. But because you have 22 episodes, I think Supergirl's 22. I know Arrow and Flash are 23. I don't know if Supergirl got that extra bump. Anyway, you can't essentially give us the main villain storyline in every episode because they would lose stuff. But I thought the villain of the week was very forgetful, to the point that I actually forgot her name. So share your thoughts about the episode in the comments below. I thought it was an enjoyable episode because it set up storylines, but at the same time, it definitely was a bit of a weaker one, and I don't know how high its replay value would be. I think the last 2 episodes have intense replay value, but I would say that these two, this one, not so much. But I am looking forward to next week. I'll cover the trailer in a minute or two, and we'll discuss next week's episode there. So I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts about Supergirl in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking out my review, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.